Hey guys, welcome back to the House of Spoop and the first hiatus episode between live filmed episodes. With everything going on in the world at the moment, we haven't had a safe opportunity to film this. So this is a filler, research-based episode. If you listen to the little introduction before this, you know the extent of what these hiatus episodes will be and the purpose they will serve. So I'm going to go ahead and dive into this week's episode. This week, I wanted to get started on a topic that will probably span over a multitude of episodes because it is such an expansive topic. This week we are covering a small portion of the Goatia of King Solomon, also known as the Lesser Key of Solomon, the first of the 3 magical books of Solomon, Claviculus Salomonis Regis, and the Book of Evil Spirits. There are so many names for this first book, but the summary remains the same. This book details the 72 spirits that Solomon allegedly used to gain his power and regency. This book contains all the names, offices, orders, seals, and characters he conversed with in his journey. Before we start with the first group of these characters, though, let's talk about Solomon himself. King Solomon is a major figure in the Bible, and the son of King David and Bathsheba. Yes, Bathsheba. Also the main antagonist of the first Conjuring film. But this is about Solomon and his actions in the Bible. He was known for liquidating his opponents ruthlessly and as a wise sage. Anyone familiar with Solomon might know this particular story that I'm about to tell you. When 2 women claimed to be the mother of a single child, he suggested cutting the child in half and splitting the infant's corpse between the 2 supposed mothers. The woman that objected to Solomon's suggestions was obviously the child's true mother. I personally think that example is an incredibly poor one, but it seems to be the most common one of Solomon's sage wisdom. Even though I personally would object to cutting any infant in half, even if I wasn't the mother, but, whatever. Solomon was also known to be a great lover with a large harem, so, ladies, there you have it, I guess. He supposedly gained his empire by destroying his enemies, and the Goatia was the key to his success in destroying his enemies. Eventually, he lost his empire due to the actions of his son, but that's a lot further into his background than I'd like to get right now because we are focusing on this particular time. So, that's his story. Now let's talk about this book. Book 1 of the Lemegeddon, penned in the name of King Solomon. The copy I have is a digital one, and if I recall correctly, the original supposed copy hasn't been discovered. I might be wrong about that, and if I am, I apologize. We have to realize that Solomon is a figure in the Bible, the main literature for the Christian religion, and isn't necessarily a factual text, and I mean no offense to those who consider themselves Christian. I respect all religions, but want to come from an objective viewpoint for my research, so please, no flames, folks. So based on my copy of the Magical Books of Solomon, let's get into the Goatia itself. I want to start with the operations of ceremonial magic, as it's called, and some examples of those operations or elements. We have sight, sound, smell, taste, touch, and mind. Sight and touch fall pretty much into the same realm, as it includes your circle, your square, your triangle, however you are summoning or performing your ceremony, and the vessels, implements, robes, candles, and any tools you would use in your ceremonies. Anything you can touch, see, or feel would be considered. Sound covers incantations and auditory experiences within your ceremony, and smell encompasses incenses, perfumes, scented candles, and the like. For taste, we would consider sacraments, edible offerings, anything you can taste on your tongue. As a sacrament, to relate to the Christian religion, think of wine and bread. This is considered by definition a sacrament, and is of the same nature in remembrance of the sacrifice of Jesus Christ, according to Christian texts. That is what we are doing here, providing a sacrament, an offering to the entity we are summoning or honoring within your ceremony. Mind really focuses on how you experience your ceremony and open yourself up to these ceremonies. The book dives much further into segmenting the psyche and brain for magic, which is an entire episode in of itself. A quote from the book: Solomon promises that we can 1. Obtain information, 2. Destroy our enemies, 3. Understand the voices of nature, 4. Obtain treasure, 5. Heal diseases, etc. These are the true purposes of this first book, and knowing these figures and how to converse with, summon, and respect these individuals. It goes back to how Solomon allegedly came into his regency and ultimate power by using these figures and employing them for his ends. So let's get into the first few demons listed in the Goatia of 72. I'm going to give you a name, a sigil, and a description of each demon as we move forward, and we will break these down into groups of 6 to parse this out. It's a lot of information, especially considered what we've already gone over today, so we will start with the first 6 and continue on in a later episode. So, here we go. Baal, known for the power of invisibility. Here is the entry from the translated Goatia, accompanied with his sigil. The first principal spirit is a king ruling in the east called Baal. He maketh thee to go invisible. He ruleth over 66 legions of infernal spirits. He appeareth in diverse shapes, sometimes like a cat, sometimes like a toad, and sometimes like a man, and sometimes all these forms at once. He speaketh hoarsely. This is his character, which is used to be worn as a layman before him who calleth him forth, or else he will not do thee homage. Agares, known to maketh them to run that stand still and bringeth back runaways. He is the lord of runaways. Here is the entry from the Goatia and his sigil. The second spirit is a duke called Agreus or Agares. He is under the power of the east and cometh up in the form of an old fair man, riding upon a crocodile, carrying a goshawk upon his fist, and yet mild in appearance. He maketh them to run that stand still, and bringeth back runaways. He teaches all languages or tongues presently. He hath power also to destroy dignities both spiritual and temporal, and causeth earthquakes. He was of the order of virtues. He hath under his government 31 legions of spirits, and this is his seal, or character, which thou shalt wear as a layman before thee. Vasigo, he is the discoverer of lost and hidden things, and things of the future and past. Here is his entry and sigil. The third spirit is a mighty prince, being of the same nature as Agares. He is called Vasigo. The spirit is of a good nature, and his office is to declare things past and to come, and to discover all things hid or lost. And he governeth 26 legions of spirits, and this is his seal. Samagina, also known as Gamim, he is of the liberal sciences and accounts of souls that died in sin. Here is his entry and sigil. The fourth spirit is Samagina, a great marquis. He appeareth in the form of a little horse or ass, and then into human shape doth he change himself at the request of the master. He speaketh with a hoarse voice. He ruleth over 30 legions of inferiors. He teaches all liberal sciences, and giveth account of dead souls that died in sin. And his seal is this, which is to be worn by the magician when he is an invocator, etc. Marbas causes and cures diseases, and is known for his wisdom and knowledge in the mechanical arts. Here is his entry and sigil. The fifth spirit is Marbas. He is a great president, and appeareth at first in the form of a great lion, but afterwards, at the request of the master, he putteth on human shape. He answereth truly of things hidden or secret. He causeth diseases, and cureth them. Again, he giveth great wisdom and knowledge in mechanical arts, and can change men into other shapes. He governeth 36 legions of spirits, and his seal is this, which is to be worn as aforesaid. Last for today, but definitely not least, to Valifor, known for being a familiar to magicians and known to familiars. Here is his entry and sigil. The sixth spirit is Valifor. He is a mighty duke, and appeareth in the shape of a lion with an ass's head, bellowing. He is a good familiar, but tempteth them he is a familiar of to steal. He governeth 10 legions of spirits. His seal is this, which is to be worn whether thou wilt have him for a familiar or not. So there you have it. This is the first run of the Goatia, and if you have anything to add, please don't hesitate to comment below or email, and the email is in the description below. I apologize if I butcher any pronunciations, and if you know the correct pronunciations, please don't hesitate to correct me. I also apologize, there's been 1 or 2 occasions where my stutter and my impediment has gotten a little bit of the best of me. This is one version of the book I'm using, and I'm sure multiple interpreted versions exist. I don't know how varied the information will be, but we shall see. So we are at the end, and I hope you all enjoyed this first hiatus episode. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I hope you all enjoy your nightmares.